Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Boosting demand for platinum is on the agenda once again, with a spotlight on platinum coins and the concept of instating platinum as a reserve currency. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer tells us more. Welcome, Martin.
Hi, Sashnee.
The Royal Mint on Monday launched its first ever platinum products. Can you tell us about these?
Well, it's quite a disappointing story, although it's a very encouraging story, because we should have had the Mandela coin here ages ago. I'm sure that every tourist coming into South Africa would consider buying a platinum coin, which is very South African, very African, with Mandela on it. I've even seen these coins. I've seen some of them that have been minted just as a sort of experiment. And why is our mint not doing this? Yet we see, over the sea in London, the Royal Mint is going to launch a coin soon, and it's already launched some platinum products, some bar, and it's going to do more of that. It's going to do different ranges, going forward. So instead of having Mandela's face, you now got the Queen's face, and it seems as though that has gone ahead far quicker with greater alacrity than us in South Africa. And behind the scenes, I know that people took the coin possibility outside the country and got an outside mint to do it because our mint was too slow and still hasn't done anything. I saw the actual finished product, so it shows you. They said in 28 days it was done. Now, we have a situation where it's very good that the Royal Mint is doing this, and it's very good for platinum. I'm not saying it's the answer to all platinum's woes, but at the same time, platinum has got to be marketed across a broad front, particularly that it's not consumed. And this is an encouraging effort by the Royal Mint, which after all has been minting precious metals since the 9th century. It's really accomplished, and for it to take this step, it must believe that this is viable. It also is putting it onto modern, trading round the clock, 7 days a week, trading platforms that are internet linked, etc. So it's linking the well-established background with modern activities, and I hope that there's a rethink on the Mandela coin here, because I really think that if properly marketed, it could be a winner.
Now, many analysts believe that bigger emphasis should be placed on reducing supply. Would a meaningful cut in production solve platinum's current price problem?
I think it would do a lot for that price problem. It's all about supply and demand, really. A lot of the argument at the moment is that there are big macroeconomic issues that are really bigger than just cutting supply, and some people believe that it might not be the answer to a maiden's prayer to cut, and also when you do cut production like that, jobs can be affected. So that is always a problem in South Africa. You don't want to have people lose their jobs, but at the same time, we saw with chrome, you needn't have people losing their jobs. You can cut back on production, and during that period when you're not producing it at the same level, you could put people through special educational processes to help them be more productive at work. They could use that and possibly get some credits from the government in that direction. So I think that there is still a lot of pressure saying, particularly from outside of South Africa, saying, look, the way to do it, if you want your price to rise, you must cut production. The Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, has pushed that idea. We see a lot of various analysts also saying this is the way to go. A lot of them, one of them is particularly keen that all the industry gets together and rationalizes, but the industry is scared to do that because the competition authorities might say this is illegal. But I've been in touch with the competition authorities, and if you look at the legislation, if an industry is in serious decline, that can be a reason for the competition authorities to give you an exemption to actually come around the table, because in this case you're trying to save an industry that also generates a lot of foreign exchange, which is very important for South Africa. I've actually put questions to the competition authorities asking them, give us an outline on this, because you can see in the law there's possibilities for exemptions. And we know that during the World Cup period there were certain exemptions made for what had to be done in a short space of time. In this case, you have a declining industry, and you need to arrest that decline. And people can rationalize if they're allowed to get together, which is for the good of our country. We're giving away a national patrimony, You know, it's better to be outside of the country and to be involved in the markets of this metal than to actually mine it. You know, the paper is beating rock. All the paper futures markets and everything, they're doing okay. You can see that they're still keen on holding platinum. Why? Because they got confidence that it's going to rise at some stage, whereas we who mine it, we're losing out. And I suppose you do have that game where paper does beat rock, and this is happening at the moment.
Tell us about platinum's store of wealth potential as a reserve currency.
Yeah, this is also being mooted, and also it's being, as fast as it's mooted, it's knocked down. You know, critics say, look, this amount of metal that you're talking about is far too small to consider it being a reserve currency. Others say, look, why don't we talk to people about making this a reserve currency in other countries as well? You know, what about China? What about the United States, which has been considering, the United States has already got platinum coins. You know, they have, you've seen an on-off sort of discussion around this. You know, it depends on the number of countries that possibly go for this reserve currency, but we're saying at the moment that you know, supply is an issue. Work on supply, cut back on supply. Marketing is a big thing for platinum. It's not consumed, so it's not a case of doing the one and not the other. Do all of them to get things going, because matters are not being brought to a head here. We can see that the price is still in the doldrums. And that could affect jobs, and we're talking about a lot of potential knock-on effects. We're talking about 1 million mouths that have to be fed from platinum. And you know, what are we doing about it? What is the government doing about it? What is the Department of Mineral Resources doing about it? It seems like nothing. The concern was raised at Platinum Week this week, saying, you know, that 60% of the industry is loss-making. That can't continue. Obviously that can't continue, but surely someone with leadership should come around and say, wow, we can't, as a developing country, the poor South, actually give metal at a loss to the rich North. I mean, it just doesn't seem to make sense, and nobody is coming forward. I think a lot of them are scared about the job losses. A lot of them are scared about labour. Bring labour into the equation, and let's work as a collective, South Africa Incorporated, and also look for other technologies, because we know that on the horizon is a technology that can cut the cost of processing. The processing cost can be decimated, but not only that, it gives you access on site to metal that can be beneficiated. As we've said, you add value there. So a lot of things are happening, but very little leadership is being given, and I think I don't know who should give that leadership, perhaps the Chamber of Mines, but hopefully someone within the industry does something about our arresting the decline of platinum, because you know, we are losing out badly here on the southern tip of Africa.
Thanks for speaking with us, Martin.
It's a great pleasure, Sashnee.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on South Africa's mining industry.